So we're doing exercise 7a, and in this video I'll be answering question 2a, which says, in each of the following, find the rule for the image of the graph of y equals f of x under the given translation. We've been given the function f of x equals 1 over x under a translation of 2 units in the positive direction of the x-axis and 1 unit in the negative direction of the y-axis. Now, to answer this question, there are 2 ways we could go about it. The first way is I'm calling the easy way, and the second way is really utilizing the method the textbook has just taught us. And it's a 2-step method, and it takes a bit of time. Now, let's start with the easy way of doing this. So this is really going to be utilizing our knowledge from ECP about gallery of graphs. So as soon as you see f of x equals 1 over x, you know what that is. That is going to be a rectangular hyperbola. So we're going to take our rectangular hyperbola and apply this transformation to it. So I'm going to get a new function, let's call it g of x, and I'm going to move it 2 units in the positive direction of the x-axis. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to go 1 over. Now if I'm moving it 2 units in the positive x-axis, that means I'm going to be minusing 2 from my x. It seems counterintuitive, but hopefully you all remember that from ECP. Next, I'm going to be going 1 unit in the negative direction of the y-axis. So I'm just moving it 1 down, and that just means I'm going to put a -1 here. So that's the answer. So that was pretty easy, wasn't it? So hopefully you all remember how to do it that way, and it's just going to save us a lot of time if you remember how to do it this way. Okay, but let's now go through the second way, which is far more time intensive. So there are 2 steps to this second way. We're first going to apply the translation, and then we're going to do something called replacing. So here is an original point on my f of x equals 1 over x graph, an original point. I then am going to apply the translation and get a new point, and I'm calling that x dash and y dash. So let's now get into specifics. So we have our original point, then we're going to apply the translation. So what I'm going to do is take my x and plus 2 to it, because I'm moving 2 units in the positive x direction. So I get my x and I'm plussing 2 to it. Then for my y, the translation is 1 unit in the negative y direction. So I take my y and I minus 1 from it. Perfect. So this is my new point. So both of these right here represent my new point. So what I can do then is say, well, that means x plus 2 is going to equal x dash. So x plus 2 equals x dash. And so too, y minus 1 equals y dash. Because both of these represent the new point on my newly translated graph. So after I've done this, I'm then going to rearrange. So I get x equals x dash minus 2. And on here, I will get y equals y dash plus 1. So now that I have these, so x equals and y equals, I'm now going to go to the replacing step. Let's remind ourselves that the original graph that we were given was y equals 1 over x. Y equals 1 over x. And we know that once the translation has been applied to it, my y will now equal this. So I'm going to come here, and in my y spot, I will write y dash plus 1. And keep writing, come to my x spot, and in the x spot, I'm going to write this, x dash minus 2. I will then rearrange, so I get my y dash by itself. So it's going to be like that. Then x dash minus 2, then minus 1. So therefore, I've created my new function, which we're calling g of x, which is going to be 1 over x minus 2 minus 1. And as you can see, this right here is what we got over here. So the easy way was far quicker, but this is the way that the textbook is really aiming for you to answer it, and it's important that you understand this process. Hopefully this was helpful in answering question 2a from exercise 7a.